initial appearances at the jail, please let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready, Your Honor.
All right, are you Mr. Garcia Camba?
Yes.
All right. I have a failure to appear. Looks like it's an Orange County case.
Tengo aquí un caso de incomparecencia, me parece que es un caso del condado de Orange.
You do have a bond. Your bond is set at $1,000.
Tengo aquí una fianza, la fianza se fija en $1,000.
All right, thank you so much.
Gracias.
Next case is Efrain Moreta Hidalgo, 20 CT 246. It's a bench warrant. Good afternoon, sir.
Buenas tardes, señor.
You failed
Yes.
you failed to appear for arraignment on this case. Your bond is set at $2,999.
Señor, usted se le acusa de incomparecencia en este caso. Su fianza se fija en $2,999.
All right, thank you, sir.
And, Your Honor, before we proceed, can I have the case number for the first defendant?
The first defendant's case number is 48-2022 MM48260.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Orlando Rodriguez Velez, 23 CF 394.
He's in the cage, Your Honor. Look at him.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Rodriguez Velez.
Buenas tardes, señor Rodríguez Vélez.
I have reviewed the charging document. It has two separate counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
He revisado el documento de acusatorio. Tiene dos acusaciones por agresión física agravada con un arma mortífera.
I do find probable cause for your arrest as to each count.
Determino que hay suficiente indicio de criminalidad para cada una de sus acusaciones.
Count 1, your bond will be stayed at $1,500.
Por la acusación número 1, su fianza permanecerá en $1,500.
Count 2, your bond will be stayed at $1,500.
En la acusación número 2, su fianza permanecerá en $1,500.
You're not to have any contact with the listed victims.
No podrá tener ningún tipo de contacto con las víctimas mencionadas.
You're not to return to the area of 310 Parkland Circle in Osceola County, Florida.
Usted no puede regresar al área del 310 Your Honor, Parkland.
Yes, Circle.
No puede regresar al área de 310 Parkland Circle en el condado de Osceola.
And you're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Y no puede poseer ningún tipo de armas ni armas de fuego.
Anything else, State?
No, Your
¿Algo más, Fiscalía? No, señoría.
All right, thank you.
Gracias.
Sure.
And Your Honor, I
320 Parkland Circle?
Yep.
All right, so specifically, he's not to return to 310 Parkland Circle, apartment 301. He's at 320, so he can't go around that vicinity. Next case is Alejandro Ardonez Maldonado, 23 CF 391. All right, good afternoon.
Buenas tardes. Good afternoon.
I reviewed the charging affidavit. It has three separate counts.
He revisado el affidavit acusatorio y hay 3 acusaciones en su contra.
I do find probable cause as to each count.
Determino que hay suficiente indicio de criminalidad para cada una de las acusaciones.
Count 1, your bond will be stayed at $2,500.
Por la acusación número 1, su fianza permanecerá en $2,500.
Count 2, your bond will be stayed at $500.
Por la acusación número 2, su fianza permanecerá en $500.
And count 3, your bond will be $500.
Por la acusación número 3, su fianza permanecerá en $500.
You're not to have any contact with the listed victim.
No podrá tener ningún tipo de contacto con la mencionada víctima.
You have to maintain a separate residence from the listed victim.
Usted deberá tener una residencia separada a la de la víctima.
I'll give you a one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you may have in the home.
Se le permitirá regresar en una sola ocasión acompañado por las fuerzas policiales para recoger sus pertenencias.
All right, and you're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Y no podrá poseer ningún tipo de armas o armas de fuego.
All right, thank you.
Gracias.
Is that all for Spanish? Can you please make an announcement for me to see if anyone else needs your services?
Sure. ¿Alguien más requiere servicio de intérprete en español en la sala?
No one's indicating they need one, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
You too. Dwayne Pope. I have case 48, 2022 CF 88710. All right, good afternoon, sir. I have an out-of-county warrant from Orange County. It's for a failure to appear, and the bond is currently set at 0 at this time. Raul Navarro, case 21 MM 2230. Mr. Navarro, I have a violation of probation warrant that was issued. There is probable cause. Your bond is currently set at 0 at this time. Johnny Robert Hinton Jr.
Your Honor, Mr. Hinton refused to come down.
I will take his refusal as a waiver of his appearance today for these proceedings. Case number 19 CF 3624. I have reviewed the warrant for the violation of probation. There is probable cause. Bond is currently set at 0. Heather Lynn Robinson. Ms. Robinson, good afternoon. It looks like you failed to appear for case 19 CF 4083. The bond is currently set at 0 at this time.
Ma'am, I know I'm not supposed to talk. I'll get out.
All right.
Your Honor, she has a competency status hearing, February 28th at 2 p.m.
All right, thank you. Joshua Edwin Pabon Molina, 22 MM 2781. Good afternoon. You failed to appear for an arraignment. Your bond is currently set at $2,999. All right, thank you. Daniel Kinnick, 22 CF 1526.
Hey, good afternoon, ma'am. I was just going to just look into the probable cause for this, if I complied and just.
I wouldn't say anything else, sir.
If I can,
Excuse me. Your Honor, can you tell me the name again, please?
Sure, it's Daniel Kinnick, Kinnick.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to waive reading of the charges.
Sure, it's an on-view violation. I have reviewed it. I do find probable cause. The bond is going to be set at 0 at this time. Shane Davis, 23 CT 606. Good afternoon. Mr. Davis, you were arrested for driving while your license is suspended. Do find probable cause. You do qualify for direct PTR. State, do you have any objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
No, currently not at the time.
Oh, well, don't say anything. It's gonna be a direct PTR. Please make sure you don't drive until you get a valid driver's license, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Samantha Johnston, 23 286. Ms. Johnson, I have 23 286. It looks like you're arrested for resisting arrest without violence. I do find probable cause for your arrest. You do not qualify for PTR. Your bond is going to be stayed at $500. Okay, thank you. Larissa Carrer, 23 287. So you were arrested for battery. Do find probable cause for your arrest. You do qualify for bond. I'm gonna have that with PTR. Your bond's gonna be set at $500. The conditions of your PTR will be no contact with a listed victim. You have to maintain a separate residence. You're not to return to the scene of the offense. I will give you a one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve your items. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. All right? Thank you. Francisco Marasco, 23 CF 388.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So there's 6 separate counts for you. As to count 1, the loitering or prowling, I did not find probable cause. State,
No arguments from the state, Your Honor.
all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and ROR and count 1. Count 2, I did find probable cause. Your bond's gonna be stayed at $250.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I believe he qualifies direct PCR.
Oh, my apologies, you're correct. Just 1 second. So count 2, I find probable cause. Counts 3, 4, 5, and 6, I do find probable cause. You do qualify for direct PTR. Any objection, state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so it will be a direct PTR. Now, please do not return to Circle K. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
And let me get the address on the record. That's 7626 West Earl Brownson Memorial Highway. So make sure you do not go back there, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Giselle Marchina, 23 CF 389.
Afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. I reviewed the arrest affidavit. It has 2 counts for child neglect without great bodily harm. Do find probable cause as to each of these offenses. Do not qualify for PTR. As to count 1, your bond will be set at $3,500. As to count 2, your bond will be set at $3,500. You are not to have any contact with the listed victims at this time. Anything else, state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Luis Perez, 23 CF 392.
Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Mr. Perez, you've been charged with 2 separate counts of domestic battery by strangulation. I do find probable cause for each of these offenses. You do not qualify for PTR. Your bond will be set as such. As to count 1, it's $3,500. As to count 2, it's set at $3,500. You're not to have any contact with the listed victims. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Stephen Pierce, 23 290. Hello. All right, so you were arrested for battery. I do find probable cause. So he qualifies for, all right, well, I'm not gonna do direct, but I'm gonna do a bond with PTR. Bond is set at $500. Please do not have any contact with the listed victim, okay, sir? All right, thank you. Valerie Santiago Ortiz, 23 291. Good afternoon. So Ms. Santiago Ortiz, you're arrested for petty theft, first offense. I do find probable cause. You do not qualify for PTR because you're out on bond on another case. You are entitled to bond on this case, so your bond will be set at $500. As to that second case you're out on bond for, which is 22 CT 4199, I'm gonna revoke your bond and set you at 0 at this time. All right, thank you. Tynetta Smith Webb, 23 CF 395. All right, good afternoon. All right, so you were arrested for battery on a person 65 years or older, as well as resisting arrest without violence. To find probable cause for each of these offenses. As to count 1, your bond will be set at $2,500. And as to count 2, your bond will be set at $250. Please do not have any contact with the listed victim. You are not to return to the home. If you need to return, I'll give you a one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve your personal items, and you are not to possess any weapons or firearms, understood? Do you understand, ma'am? Is that, hello?
Was the judge saying when it was $0?
I'm sorry?
They told me it was $0 for the first,
I just gave you a bond,
so,
okay?
they asked me 10%.
Yes,
So how much would it be for both?
they'll let you know. Thank you. Jerry Tankersley, if I'm saying that correctly, 23 CF 397. All right, good afternoon, sir. So you're arrested for 2 separate counts, trafficking methamphetamine, 14 grams to 28 grams, as well as drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause as to each of these offenses, and that was trafficking methamphetamine with a weapon. I do find probable cause as to counts 1 and 2. Count 1, your bond will remain at $100,000, and count 2, your bond will remain at $500. And PTR conditions will be not to possess or consume any illegal substances. All right, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, just for clarification, are we also limiting weapons or?
No weapons, yes. No possession of any weapons or firearms. Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you, sir. Travis Tomlin, he has 2 cases. State, I have a question. All right, good afternoon. 23 CT 611, you're charged with driving a license suspended. The affidavit I received says nothing about the suspension.
Yes, Your Honor, I think I had a note with that as well. Hold on.
Just talks about the co-defendant, talks about the vehicle being stolen and things of that nature, but nothing about his license per se.
Your Honor, as to this matter, the state would just be asking for a 24-hour reset to see if the deputies will submit a supplement to that effect.
We'll do a 24-hour reset so the state can provide me with a charging affidavit that pertains to the driving license suspended. The second case is 23 CF 399, which is grand theft auto, resisting arrest without violence. I did find probable cause for this case as to each 2 counts, and he does not qualify for PTR. As to count 1, the bond is going to be set at $2,500, and count 2, it's going to be set at $500. All right, that concludes my docket. Do you have anyone that I missed?
No, that's all. That's all I have.
All right, thank you so much. Court's in recess.
Thank you.
All right, your name, sir?
Serrano Facey.
All right, sir, you're here today because you're arrested on 2 charges, battery, domestic violence, and felony battery.
Yes, sir.
I have read the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Is there anyone here for that?
I'm sorry? I do have it.
You are from South Florida, right? Southwest from Fort Myers?
Florida.
This Waterston Court address, what was that? Is that an,
That's my Orlando. That's where I live.
so you live here or you live there?
I live here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about, Eric Rodriguez?
So Eric Rodriguez pays rent to stay at another home, but he stays with me 90% of the time. The only time he goes to the place that he's paying rent for is if we're in an argument.
Okay, but do you know where he is staying currently?
I think it's 4-3. I don't know it's on Gulfside Drive. It's 4-3 something, Gulfside Drive.
So he has 3 addresses?
He has 3?
Well, you just said, I'm asking about, you said yours is Waterston Court, right? And that he stays there.
Well, yeah, most of the time.
Then there's a Gulfside address,
Yeah, which is the one that he actually on paperwork.
but you don't know if he's at Waterston or Gulfside right now.
He should not be at Waterstone. He should
Well-
not be in my house without my permission, just like that. Oops,
He
sorry.
pays rent there though, doesn't he?
No, he does not. He does not pay anything. He has not paid a dime of anything. Oh, sorry. I'm passionate.
He was paying, when he first stated, it sounded like he was paying to live there, but he was talking about a different location
Okay,
that he stays with him
all right.
for free.
100% free.
All right, as to the battery, I'll set bond amount of 500, the battery DV of $500, and as to the second battery, $500. You're just to maintain a separate residence from Eric Rodriguez. If he is at Waterston, you can't go there,
He shouldn't be there.
okay? I understand that. I know you told me that. What I'm telling you is that if he is there, you can't be there,
Like,
right? You'll have to have a separate residence.
right? Or do I tell him? I mean, it's not his house, so do I?
If he is there, you can't be there.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Separate residence. That's it. That's a civil matter. You allowed him to stay there on a regular basis, then if he's there, if you want to get him out, that's an unlawful detainer. That's not what I'm dealing with. What I'm telling you is no contact at all with him and maintain a separate residence, okay?
Okay, so
Not to possess any guns or weapons, any drugs or alcohol.
No.
And you say that you make this $2,300. How often is that?
That's actually gross income. It nets down to 1,700, and that's
A week?
Bi-weekly. I know she put weekly, but I said bi-weekly.
So $3,400 a month, you think, is your gross?
Essentially.
And you have no other dependents?
Well, no.
No, you don't qualify for the public defender.
The who?
You don't qualify for a public defender. You make too much. All right, well, then, who's out on a DUI? And you were currently out on a DUI. Hang on.
It's horrible. It's a lie. Sorry.
All right, I'll take no action on the DUI. I'll leave the bond in place.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Judge.
Your name, ma'am? Sir, excuse me?
Twaski Jackson.
All right, Mr. Jackson, you're here today because you're arrested on 3 charges: aggravated battery, possession of methamphetamine, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I have read the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Do you have another place to go other than the Turkey Lake Road address?
Yes,
Where's that going to be?
In Lee County, Florida.
Okay. Oh, there's someone here. Hang on. Raise your right hand, sir. Solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I swear.
Your name?
Andrew Perez.
All right, and you are the alleged victim in the case?
I am.
What do you want to tell me?
I didn't want any of this to happen. I just wanted to have fun.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to speak up. I can't hear.
I said I didn't want any of this to happen. I just, wanted to have fun. I think things just got out of hand, and his behavior and his choices were poorly made.
Do you want to have contact with him?
Only in regards to selling the home.
Okay, so that's a no. Okay, fair enough, we can do that. Okay, as to the aggravated battery, I'll set bond the amount of $750. You're to have no contact with Andrew. If you, other than for the purposes of selling the home. In other words, if there's anything that needs to be done legally, signing documents or anything, then that contact is okay. But not as a discussion, okay? You can't have any regular contact with him. And is that, the Turkey Lake Road, is that the address, the home that you're trying to sell?
I'm sorry, what address?
It's Turkey Lake Road? Where was that?
I don't know that address. I live at 2610 Southwest First Avenue, Cape Coral.
All right, we can't go back, okay, I see. You guys were up here, that's a hotel. You were visiting.
Yeah, we were at a hotel when the incident happened.
You're to maintain a separate residence from Andrew Perez as well. So you can't go back and live where he is, and you can't have any contact with him. Not to possess any guns or weapons, any drugs or alcohol. And you do qualify for public defender or appointed public defender. On the possession of methamphetamine, bond set of $1,000. Possession of drug paraphernalia, all set at $100. And again, no contact whatsoever with him.
Your Honor, I asked on the possession of meth, you treated it as a subsidiary and put it at 100 and 100 for for count 2 and count 3.
Well, then what happens is if they don't file on the other 2, then it turns out he's only got a $100 bond on a felony case. Which I see all the time. I'll make it 500, but I'm not going to go to 100. Yeah.
And Your Honor, I have a question for the alleged victim.
Sure.
Where will you be staying after this? Are you planning on staying where you used to stay with him?
Yes, that is my house. I own that house.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure that he knew to go to the other place.
Right.
Okay.
Can't go there. Maintain separate residence, okay? All righty, thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Your name, sir?
Joseph Pollock.
Mr. Pollock, you're here today because you were arrested on several charges: aggravated battery with a weapon, and domestic violence. It's based on an arrest warrant. No. Do you have another place to go other than the 4513 Edgemore Street address?
Yes, sir.
Where's that?
I got 738 Bentley Street.
Whose house is that?
That's my sister. My cousin's house.
All right, as to the aggravated battery with a weapon, 750, aggravated battery with a 750 and 500 on the last count. No contact, well, first of all, no return to that address, 4513 Edgemore Street. No guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. No contact with Charlene Richardson or Carlevens Prevel. That's Karlevens, Prevel, Previl. Or Harmony Penton, Harmoni and Penson. No contact with them whatsoever. Do you have any items at that address?
No, sir.
Any personal things? Okay, so you got no reason to go back there, good. And I'll call upon a public defender to represent you.
Sir.
Your name, sir?
John Washington.
Mr. Washington, you're here today because you're arrested for 4 charges: attempted homicide, aggravated battery on a pregnant person, attempted homicide, and battery on a child by throwing fluids. I have read the charging affidavits, those are domestic violence battery. I have read the arrest affidavit, the charging affidavit do find sufficient probable cause.
Your Honor, I argue there's no probable cause for the PC for the pregnant, aggravated battery on a pregnant person. The affidavit states that she was 24 weeks pregnant at the beginning, just that as a fact, but doesn't indicate that he knew that she was 24 weeks pregnant, or even if that she looked pregnant.
State, want to be heard?
Your Honor, she's 24 weeks pregnant and they live together. I find it hard to believe that he did not know or should have known that his partner hadn't had a period in 6 months. And it wasn't showing.
Do you want to be heard on the attempted homicide bond?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm asking for no bond.
I think it's probably going to be distinct without merit. There's no bond on the 2 attempted homicides. On the aggravated battery on a pregnant person, I will ROR, and on the battery on a child, $1,000. And I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. No contact at all with Ms. Lattimore or her child. No return to 1456 Mercer Drive, 200. No guns, no drugs, no weapons, no alcohol.
Does that mean you did not find PC, Your Honor?
Just for the pregnant part. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but if she's not showing, who knows? Aggravated battery on a pregnant person.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes. Your name, ma'am?
Yasmin Alpazar.
Ma'am, you're here today because you were arrested on a charge of battery, domestic violence. I have read the charging affidavit, and I do find sufficient probable cause. Raise your right hand, please. Solemnly swear testimony about to give will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I swear.
Your name?
Bushra Khaldun.
All right, and you are related in this case?
Her mother.
You're the alleged victim as well, is that right?
I'm sorry?
You're the alleged victim as well?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, tell me what you want me to know. Do you want her to come home?
I do want her to come home. I did not sleep the whole night. I wanted my daughter to come home.
All right, she does qualify for PTR. So you could be released with pretrial release conditions, so there wouldn't be a monetary bond. You wouldn't have to pay anything, but you do have to check in with your with an officer, pretrial release officer on a regular basis. They may drug test you, and there's some things that you have to do, but it doesn't cost you any money to get out. Would you rather do that, or you want me to set a bond?
Okay, that's fine.
PTR? All right. I release you with pretrial release. You're to have no hostile contact, so she can come home, but she can't be hostile to you. She can't raise her voice, can't raise her fist, can't throw anything around the house, can't throw anything at you, nothing, okay?
Okay,
All right.
thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And no drugs, no weapons, no guns, no alcohol.
No.
Okay? And I will appoint a public defender to represent you. Your name, sir?
Reynaldo De Jesus.
Your last name?
De Jesus.
So you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of violation of a PTR condition on domestic violence case. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find sufficient probable cause. And I will set bond amount of $500. You're not to return, to abide by all the conditions of your previous release. You're not to return to 22 North Graham Street. You're not to have any contact with Jose Mestres, Mestres. No guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, and I will appoint a public defender on that. You are also out on bond for the same charge.
With the same victim,
What's that?
with the same victim.
Yeah. I'm going to revoke that bond. There'll be no bond on those charges.
I'll call you before then, okay?
Good morning. Your name?
Heinz.
Mr. Hines, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of battery domestic violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. Raise your name, ma'am, raise your right hand, please. Solemnly swear testimony about to give, be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Your name?
Sonia Santiago.
All right. Ms. Santiago, you're the alleged victim in the case. What is it that you wanted to tell me?
I just wanted to let you know that Ricardo hit me while I had our son in his hand. He was dead wrong. He knew, I had the baby and he didn't care. So I just want him to apologize to both me and our son. I still want him to be in his child's life. And, I just want him to get his stuff together.
And so you don't want him to have any contact with you at this point?
Yes, because we have a child together.
Well, that can be sorted out. I can order that he not have contact except through DCF or through some other way so that he doesn't have to be around you.
No, I would like contact.
Okay. All right, I'll set bond the amount of $500. You can have no hostile contact. So you can't raise your voice, you can't raise your fist, you can't throw anything, you can't do anything hostile at all to her,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay?
Thank you.
All right. And you're not to possess any guns or weapons, any drugs or alcohol. I will appoint a public defender to represent you. Is it okay if he comes to your house? Is that Raleigh Street was his place, isn't that right?
Yes, that's his house. But his brother kicked me and the baby out, so I'm staying with my mother at the moment.
Okay, so you're not at that address anymore?
No.
All right. You're to maintain separate residences then, too. You can do it that way. All right. I'll take no action on the other case. It hasn't been filed on, has it? So I'll just leave that in place.
Carrying the concealed weapon?
Yeah. It's not-
It has pretrial set for March 14th. Unless I get it wrong.
Your Honor, I have it was filed on, but not the possession of cannabis, but I still argue that the bond not be revoked. It has a minimal criminal history. It looks like
Yeah, the state only filed on the carrying the concealed firearm.
pretrial is on the 14th.
I'll take that, I'll leave it in place. No action. Your name, sir?
Jefferson Hodges.
Mr. Hodges, you're here today because you're arrested on the charge of battery, domestic violence. I have read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. I guess it was someone leaving. Wasn't there someone in there?
She was leaving.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, Mr. Hodges, were you living at the Quintard Avenue address?
Yes, sir.
You have another place to go?
Hmm?
You have another place that you can go to live?
I'll go back there.
No? Because Colisha, I think, is there. So you can't go back there if she's there. So you need to have another place, at least on the short term. What's that?
Where will you go instead?
I go back, I pick the stuff, I'm gonna pick the stuff, go somewhere else.
Okay, so you need a one-time return with law enforcement.
Yeah. All right, so you do qualify for pretrial release. You can be released without a monetary bond, but there are conditions that go along with pretrial release, or I can set a bond of $500. What do you want?
Pretrial.
All right, I'll release you with pretrial conditions. No guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol.
No, none.
All right, you're not to have any contact with Felicia Anderson, and you're not to return to 115 Quintard Avenue in Orlando. You can go back there one time with law enforcement to come go get your personal items. Okay, but that's the only that one time, all right? And I will appoint a public defender to represent you, so you have a lawyer.
That's for you.
Daniel Maxwell is mental health.
Do you want to waive or?
I'll waive if I'm appointed, which I assume.
Yeah, we'll appoint the public defender, and, all right, I'll set bond amount of $500, no return to 265 Cassock Court, no contact with Ruby Chayang Kaur, Chayangkoor, no guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. Your name, sir?
James Lindsay.
Mr. Lindsay, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of domestic violence battery. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. You have another place to go other than the Conway address? Oh, wait, is it Conway? No.
The Conway address is my ex's. It's where my daughter lives.
All right, what about, what's the East South Street, apartment 11?
That's the one that,
Is that where you were with, where you live with Bree Williams?
yes, but she's leaving in a couple of days to go back to her apartment in Tennessee. She will not be here.
Well, unfortunately, she's not here to tell me that, so. On the short term, you're gonna have to be somewhere else.
Okay.
If she does leave, at that point, you can go back. And you do qualify for, pretrial release, which means you can be released without a monetary bond, but there are conditions that go along with that. You'd have to report into an officer, and there's other things that have to happen. Or I could set a bond of $500.
You have $500?
I really can't afford it, but I have it.
Well, then I can go pretrial release. You don't have to pay anything.
It's fine. So this is actually going,
Well, at this point, it is. The state may decide not to go forward on it, but at this point, we're just determining what the conditions of your release are gonna be.
I was just trying to leave.
Okay, I understand that. You're not being found guilty and not sentenced you to anything, but because you're being held no bond, you're entitled to conditions to be released, but I have to set those conditions. Is that what I wanted? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yes, sir.
If I go pretrial release, you don't have to pay. You'll just have to report into an officer. And then if they don't file the charges, if they decide not to go forward, then all of that will be lifted, and you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Okay.
Okay? You want pretrial? All right. I'll release your pretrial release. No guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. You're not to have any contact with Bree Danielle Williams. Right now, because she is there potentially, I'm going to order that you have a separate residence from Miss Williams, and that you not return to 1014 East South Street, Apartment 11, if she is there. Okay, so you're not to return there if she's there. If she is, you can go back one time with the law enforcement officer to pick up your personal items. Okay? Once she vacates that and moves away, then I don't have any objection to you going back there. But she's not here to say that she wants any contact. You're not to have any contact at this point in time. Okay, and I will appoint a public defender to represent you. We have a lawyer. All right. Your name, sir?
Richard Van Horn.
Mr. Van Horn, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of battery domestic violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. The Pine Arbor address, is that where you were living?
Yes.
And do you have another place to go?
Yes.
All right, because if Kimberly's there, you're gonna have to keep a separate residence. All right, you do qualify for pretrial release, so I could give you, release you with pretrial conditions as opposed to you posting a monetary bond, but there are conditions that are on it. So what would you prefer, a bond, or would you rather have a pretrial release?
Can I hear the pretrial release?
Sure. All right, I'll release you with pretrial conditions. You're not to possess any guns or weapons, any drugs or alcohol. You're not to have any contact with Kimberly Lowndes, Lounds. You're not to return to 87 Pine Arbor Drive. You can go back there one time with law enforcement to pick up any personal items that you need, but you can't go back there just by yourself. Don't just show up there, because you're not to have any contact with Kimberly. And I will appoint a public defender to represent you. Oh, he doesn't? How much does he make? Oh. You make $60,000 a year?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't qualify. Even with one dependent, so I can't appoint a public defender for you.
Still be Oh, what pretrial release? Oh, he had asked what pretrial release was, not that he wanted it. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what I said. You have to check in with an officer usually. They keep up with you. There may be some drug testing. There's a number of things that have to happen. I could just set a bond if that's.
And if I set a bond, can I be in contact? Because the baby's 7 months and I want to
No.
make sure.
Can't contact her at all.
How would I help to make sure the baby's okay in the legal way?
DCF involved, do we know? I didn't see that it was.
I don't think the baby was present.
Because I help her a lot with the baby.
I don't believe so.
They mention a baby at all in this charging affidavit.
No, the baby is mentioned at the bottom, Your Honor. They have a child in common.
Your Honor, could you appoint the public defender's office temporarily, even though we don't qualify, to see if they could help with that? Because that won't get done.
On a temporary basis, I will. You can also go through, if you have a mother or someone else, a third party, as long as it's only about the child. Not about this, not about, no apology, nothing. Not in any way touch on this, but if it's just to talk about the child. Okay?
And you're gonna be able to just. For the, oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you want PTR or you want bond?
Bond.
All right, $500 bond. I'll just make it, or PTR if he wants that. If he changes his mind before he comes, he can go either way.
So it's not contingent on you having the third-party contact. You can still get released without paying money, and then there'll be somebody that, like, keeping tabs on you until your next court date. But you don't have to have them pay the money in order to get pretrial release and have these release conditions. You just have to decide, do you want to be released and kind of be keeping up with someone, or do you want to pay money?
I want to pay the money.
Okay.
But I'll still be able to contact her.
Whichever one you want. What does he want? You want a bond, $500 bond, we're done. Where are the out-of-county warrants on here? They in the queue? there no bonds? Or what is the bond on? That's the. All right, your name, sir?
Jason Alfaro.
All right, Mr. Alfaro, you're here today because you're arrested on a warrant out of Dade County, and the bond is $750.
Yes.
All righty. If you bond out, then you need to report to them down there. If you don't, then we'll contact them and they can come get you. All
Okay,
right?
so I need to bond out is the only way I'll be able to go home, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All righty, not a problem then? Yeah, I already got him. That was quick. Your name, sir?
Joshua Benjamin Castillo.
What about Colbert? Okay, did I move Castillo? I don't have Castillo. What was it? I gave you the paperwork. Maybe, did I give you the wrong one? Maybe I didn't look at it. Okay, yeah, so we don't have that. Oh, okay. All right. So we got Carmen is now, right? Okay, so that was my fault then. I didn't flip the paperwork. But still, I don't have Castillo.
Aren't they just saying that he bonded on this offense? No? Isn't that what they?
Who is that? Castillo. All right, so I don't have any paperwork or I have it on there. So what is the open case? Do you have it?
No.
All right, take no action on that. Just let him go. Oh, well, that's a horse of a different color. What's the case number on? Oh, it's Osceola. I can't
Yeah,
look
it's
it up.
all no offers.
Well, it's Osceola. I won't be able to look it up. I was gonna look it up.
Tisha, yesterday, I can forward it to you. I don't know. Yes.
Well, no, not yet. If it's trafficking, no. But I don't know anything. I don't know what it is. I don't have any paperwork. No one up here has anything. I'm not sure how he even got on there. Yeah, he's not even on this. Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Did you take no action? Wasn't a fad because of the Osceola case and you took no action?
yeah, but it's a trafficking and stuff, so
Oh,
I don't know. What? We're good. Just let it go. It's fine. All right, come on, Miss Colbert. All right, Ms. Colbert, you're here because you're arrested on a warrant out of Seminole County. There's 2 counts, fleeing, attempting to elude, and driving while license suspended or revoked. Looks like there actually is bonds on those.
Yeah, and I bonded last night on those. But,
Okay, so then you just have the possession of fentanyl that you're at.
right, and I had, with that case, I already signed my, the warrant was already issued when I signed my contract with them. And the state was aware of it, and I have everything done. It was supposed to be, I go back in on the 16th, but they were already aware that I was gonna be doing a walkthrough on this. You guys beat me to my house before I could get there last night.
All right, I'll take no action. Just
Thank you.
leave that bond in place. Your name, sir?
Marcus Garnett.
All right, Mr. Garnett, you're here because you're arrested on a warrant out of Volusia County. Bond is the amount of $1,000. Your name, ma'am?
Yes,
Your name?
Michelle Masudo.
Hi, Ms. Masudo, you're here because you're arrested on a warrant out of Marion County. Bond is $2,000 on that. And she's out on bond on a possession of, I'll take no action on that.
Your Honor, may I speak for just one moment? I'm out on bond for the GTA that I was received. This is the same case. They changed the charge to this, to the statutory motor vehicle charge. So it's the same case, except they, I don't know why they put another warrant out.
I don't know either, that's Marion County. You'll have to deal with them, but you can bond out. There's a bond on it, and the hold on you for the case that you're out on bond here, I took no action, so you'll be able to bond out now.
Your Honor, we're not appointed on that case, and she has an arraignment scheduled for 3/2. They didn't file in the Grand Theft Third. I don't know what happened. Maybe they decided to do it in separate counties, who knows, but.
They changed it.
Can we be appointed?
Yeah, are you working now?
No, Your Honor, I'm not. I'm
Do
actually,
you have any kids or any dependents?
no, I don't. I'm here waiting for court because I was arrested on the GTA from Marion County.
All right, I'll appoint a public defender representative on that new case, on the Orange County case. All right, so you have a lawyer here on that Orange County case as well. Okay? All righty, thank you. Your name, sir?
Cody Moxley.
Mr. Moxley, you're here because you're arrested on 2 warrants out of Volusia County. There is no bond on those. Volusia County will be notified that you're here, and they'll have a bit of time to come and get you. All right, they are for the charges of burglary with structure causing damage and grand theft.
And there's a bond though, and
Oh. Actually, you do have a bond. It's 31 total, 30,000 on count 2, and I guess it's a blanket bond, $30,000.
so it's 30,000, that's it, correct? Because online, I asked and they said that it was 60, 30 and 30.
Well, it says count 1, burglary of structure causing damage in excess of $1,000, grand theft blanket bond, $30,000, which would indicate to me that that's for the whole thing.
That's what my paperwork says too, sir. It's just 30 and 0, so. I can bond out on 30.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't use that language, but that's what I would take that to mean is 15 and 15. If it's a blanket bond, it's 30,000. That's for everything.
Yeah, my paperwork literally says total bond 30,000. It says total of both.
What paperwork are you talking about?
This one right here, sir, on the top, it states total bond. And it says 30,000, and on the bottom, it states both my charges, so.
Yeah, but that's not what. I see.
It literally says total.
All right, I'll make it 15 and count 1, 15 count 2. So it's a blanket bond, but I'm gonna split it so that you guys paperwork-wise here, because we do it different.
Will that change it online, sir?
Well, that's what we have. That's what the paperwork in Orange County will say. So that will mean that you can bond out at 30,000.
No, all I'm asking, sir, is like, if they look it up now, it'll say that now?
Well, not right now, no, this has got to take effect, but,
No,
but it will at some point today.
yes, sir, thank you.
All righty.
Good morning.
Good morning, your name, sir?
Lamarcus Robinson.
Mr. Robinson, you're here because you're arrested on a warrant out of Osceola County for resisting officer without violence, possession of cannabis, possession of paraphernalia.
Yes, I already had service time for that. I had just I've been out of jail for that for 2 months. The drug possession and paraphernalia had got dropped, and then after it got time served, I had bonded out for $100 for the arrested without violence.
Well, it looks like if that's this case, I don't know, the paperwork here indicates that it's a PTR revocation, and the judge issued it's a no bond.
I had a PTR on the arrest without violence, but I never signed it. Instead, I had bonded out.
Well, unfortunately, you're gonna have to get that straightened out with Osceola.
I mean, but you can see in the documents that I just was there like 2 months ago for those charges, right?
Not in the documents that I have. We don't, that's Osceola County, although we're the same circuit, it is different, so
So
unfortunately.
you
there's
can't
no
see the last time that I got arrested?
All I have is the warrant, so that's all I got. So there's no, according to this, whoever the judge in Osceola was, they wanted it.
They didn't update the system over there yet, did they? Because I already,
We don't have that system. Our system is separate. It's different.
All
We
right.
just have Orange, they have Osceola, and so all I can see is the warrant, because you were
if
picked.
they send me back over there, I'm gonna be, I'm not gonna be able to do any time because I already did all the time and bonded out for that.
Well, I don't know about that. You can get a year on those offenses, so, unless you
I
did
can
a
only get a
year.
year on the arrested without violence, I was told. That's why I didn't sign it.
What's he being, how much is his bond right now?
None.
None. That's,
Well, it's Osceola. PTR violation, they no bond on misdemeanors, apparently. Crazy. Crazy.
They had me banned from coming over there.
Yes. Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, I guess. Unfortunately, I mean. Name, sir?
Cody Bledsoe.
Mr. Bledsoe, you're here today because you were charged with violation of probation and arrested on a warrant for that. There is no bond, and we'll appoint a public defender to represent you on that violation.
I'm sorry?
I'll appoint a public defender to represent you, so I have an attorney. There is no bond on the violation of probation.
I have an attorney on that. I wasn't allowed to see pretrial yesterday. They took me out of the BRC downstairs before I got to speak to pretrial or anything about that.
Pretrial for,
Like today, when I turned myself in yesterday, I have a lawyer on the case, Nick Congolese.
okay. All right, then I won't appoint then the PD for you since you do have a private lawyer. But the warrant is a no bond warrant, so he can go and speak with Judge Harris and see if she's willing to set a bond.
I think he filed a motion for a bond hearing.
Could be, but for right now, it's no bond. Your name, sir?
Michael Collins.
Collins, you're here because you're arrested on a violation of community control. There is no bond on that. And I'll appoint a public defender to represent you on that violation. Your name, sir?
Giselle Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez, you're here today because you're arrested on a violation of probation. There is no bond on that. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you.
Probation, it's a violation of probation. Now you have an attorney, okay?
Your name, sir?
Nathaniel Menendez.
Melendez, you're here because you're arrested on a violation of probation warrant. There is no bond on that. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you.
There you go.
Your name, sir?
Robert Aaron Osterblom.
Mr. Osterblom, you're here today because you're arrested on a violation of probation warrant in your felony case. There is no bond on that, and I will appoint a public defender to represent you.
I have, Ali and Blankner has been retained.
They haven't filed a, do you want me, I won't appoint with you, but they haven't filed a notice yet.
They've been paid. I don't understand why they haven't.
It could be in the process right now. So I want to appoint a public defender for you since you do have Kendall or Buck Blankner, okay? Your name, sir?
Sonny Elmer.
All right, Mr. Olmo, you're here today because you're arrested on a violation of probation warrant, and there is no bond on that. Wait, is there? Hold on. Hang on, let me make sure. It's a misdemeanor, let me make sure. Yeah, there's no bond. Judge Walker said no bond. Yeah, I'll appoint a public defender.
You have me, you have us. Go ahead.
For afternoon, oh, 33s, okay, that's 33s. Okay, and they're apparently on Van Horn. The alleged victim was downstairs and they sent her to the wrong place, so we're sending her up. She's gonna come up and we'll talk to her. Ready on 33s?
Yes, Your Honor.
State of Florida versus Monique Carlock, 2023 CF 229AO.
I apologize. Can you give me the case number again?
Sure, 2023 CF 229AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
State of Florida versus Omar Lugo Villalobos, 2022 CF 15086AO.
Denied. Information was filed.
State of Florida versus Madeline Pagan Gonzalez, 2023 CF 156AO.
Granted. Notice of non-filing.
State of Florida versus Gregory Hernandez, 2023 CF 236AO.
Granted. Notice of non-filing.
State of Florida versus Mina Balzort, 2022 CF 14358AO.
Granted. Notice of non-filing.
State of Florida versus Ramon Lee Harris, 2022 CF 15095AO.
Granted. Notice of non-filing.
2020, State of Florida versus Terrell Karen Capers, 2023 CF 180AO.
Granted. Case was no billed.
State of Florida versus Ruth Sarah Cherazad, 2023 MM 97AO.
Granted. Case was no billed.
State of Florida versus Damari Lamont Hepburn, 2022 CF 14990AO.
Granted. Case was no billed.
State of Florida versus Dave Stephen Alfred, 2023 CF 227AO.
Granted. Notice of non-filing.
State of Florida versus Terrell Karen Capers, 2022 CF 14430AO. Did we already do that one?
Different case number. Granted. Notice of non-filing.
All right. State of Florida versus John Paul Casedo Franco, 2023 CF 175AO.
Granted. Notice of non-filing.
That's all I got on that.
Do you have one for Jaquavis Jamal Clayton? It's private counsel.
Harry Custon for the record, from the Public Defender's Office.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do that. Appearances. I don't think I asked for appearances on the record.
Oh, Randy Eugene on behalf of the State Attorney's Office.
Just in case they email and ask me.
They're just gonna say it's better late than never. Okay, I guess the alleged victim in Van Horn is here. Yeah, if he's still back there, look at it. It might change. All right, Mr. Van Horn, you already were here on your battery DV, and I found that there was probable cause. Raise your right hand, please, ma'am. To the best of your ability, solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
You need to speak closer to the microphone, please.
Yes, I do.
All right, and your name is?
Kimberly Lowndes.
What was the name again?
Kimberly Lowndes.
All righty. And you're the alleged victim in this case?
Yes.
What do you want to tell me? Do you want to have contact with him or no?
Yes, I want to have contact.
So you are currently at the Pine Arbor Drive address?
Yes.
So you would have no objection to him returning home?
No, I don't.
All right, well, I already said, I guess, was this PTR or was this?
This is a $500 bond, Your Honor, at his request.
I'll keep the bond at the $500. I'll modify the previous condition to allow you to return home to Pine Arbor, okay? You can go back home, but you're not to have any hostile contact whatsoever. So no hostile contact. He can't raise his voice, he can't raise a fist. That's okay. He can't throw anything, he can't do anything hostile to you, all right?
Okay.
Okay. And again, still no guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. All righty?
Your Honor?
Yes.
I believe the public defender was appointed just so that they could help with child contact. Barring that, I don't think he
He
qualified.
doesn't qualify, so yeah, we'll remove the public defender. All righty, okay.
Can you repeat that for me? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, so what happened was I appointed the public defender on a temporary, he doesn't qualify for the public defender service, he makes too much money. But I appointed him just so that they could get the child care issues and make sure that that was all taken care of.
I do not want to press charge or anything.
Well, I understand that, and that's gonna be between you and the state, you'll have to contact the state attorney, but as it goes forward for right now, he'll be bonding out, and he can come home, but he just can't have any hostile contact, okay?
Okay, question, do he have someone to bond him out?
What's that?
Do he have someone to bond him out?
Well, that's up between you and him. He had the ability to do PTR, he wanted the bond.
So anybody, you could bond him out if you wanted to.
Okay.
There's nothing against that.
Okay.
I don't know.
So here's the question. He has 2 counts on this Moxley guy. Can I just say $30,000 for both counts? I mean, that's the problem, is that if we treat it as 30 per count, it's gonna be $60,000. Because we have him in on 2 counts, right, on 2 warrants. And so they're saying that I can't split. Mr. Maxey here today because you were arrested on charge of trespass after warning. I reviewed the charging affidavit and I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. Any offer in the case?
It's an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to 805 Cypress Street.
And I wish to accept that.
So,
All right, Mr. Maxey, so you wish to enter a plea of no contest to a time serve offer, is that right?
sure.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
No, sir.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past?
Not really.
You understand what's going on here today, though? All right, you read over your plea form, understood the rights, and signed it on the bottom. Do you have any questions about the rights that you're waiving for me? No? All right, you understand this is punishable by up to 60 days in jail, up to a $500 fine, and that the entry of your plea could result in deportation if you're not a citizen. Yes? All right, I will accept your plea. I will judge you guilty of the offense of trespass to be sentenced to the time you've served in the Orange County Jail. I'll impose court costs and a $50 cost of prosecution, which is a total of $273. And I'll give you 12 months to get that paid. Finally, I'm going to order that you not return to 805 Cypress Street for a period of 1 year. If you do go back there and the court's made aware of that, then you are subject to a contempt citation, which could result in up to 180 days in the Orange County Jail. Take no action on the bond case. You will be released as to this case. Your name, sir?
Hold on.
Donald Siska.
Hold on.
Mr. Siska, you're here today because you were arrested on a charge of trespass, failure to leave property upon the order of an owner. I read the charging affidavit, and I do find there's sufficient probable cause.
Your Honor, as a friend of the court, I'm asking for an offer from the bench. The offer from the state is a 5-day offer, but his history doesn't look much different than the other ones. He has 2 days credit.
And Your Honor, if you would also note that Mr. Siska was just convicted of trespassing on the 3rd.
I'll do it. Let's get rid of it.
Is there a case number for him?
Is there what?
Is there a case number? There's nothing on the docket.
Yes. 2023 MM 86 AW. All right, so Mr. Siska, you wish to enter a plea of no contest to this charge?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today? Are you under the influence today?
No, sir.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past?
No, sir.
You read over your plea form, understood the rights and signed it. Do you have any questions about the rights on the form?
Okay, credit time served.
Yeah, what about the rights on the form? Do you have any questions about anything on here? Or you understand that this is punishable by up to 60 days in jail, up to a $500 fine, and the entry of your plea would result in deportation if you're not a citizen?
Yes, sir.
All right, do you find sufficient factual basis? Looks, judge you guilty of that, sentence you to 2 days with 2 days credit. There'll be court costs, a $50 cost of prosecution. It's a total of $273, and I'll allow you 12 months to get that paid.
Okay, thank you.
All right, be released as to this case.
Yes.
Good afternoon, your name, sir?
It's Charles Luke.
Mr. Luke, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of trespass on property other than a structure conveyance. I have read the charging affidavit, and I do find sufficient probable cause.
Okay.
Like you failed to appear on that. You wish to plea?
You want to plea?
Yeah.
All right, just want to enter plea of no contest.
Thank you.
That's no return, time served. All right, Mr. Charles, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
No.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past?
No.
In this plea form, you read over that and understood it. Do you have any questions about the rights on that form?
No.
You understand this is punishable by up to 60 days in jail, up to a $500 fine, and that the entry of your plea would result in deportation if you're not a citizen.
Understand.
All right, do you find sufficient factual basis to accept your plea? I will adjudge you guilty. Be sentenced to the time that you've served in the Orange County Jail. I will impose court costs and a $50 cost of prosecution, so a total of $273, and I'll give you 12 months to get that paid. All right, finally, I'm going to order that you not return to the 7-Eleven at 5284 South Orange Blossom Trail. If you do go back there within the next year, and the court's made aware of that, you are subject to a contempt citation.
Yes, sir.
All right, you'll be released as to this case.
Thank you.
Your name, sir?
Javar Reed, or Javar Lamana T. Reed.
All right, Mr. Reed, you're here today because you're arrested for failing to appear, on a warrant for failing to appear. on another trespass charge. Does he wish to enter a plea?
Your Honor, the offer was an adjudication and 3-month supervised probation and 30 community service hours. He does not want to accept that offer.
It's the offer that was
Where does that come
previously relayed, Your Honor.
I believe that was in the division, but there wasn't much negotiations before that. I think that was just the offer maybe before like an arraignment or something.
That's my case.
Oh.
It's from my division, so if he wants to plead, I'll do time served.
Today?
Yes.
I agree.
All right, so you wish to enter a plea of no contest? Is that
No
right?
contest.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
No.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past?
No.
All right, that plea form, you're going to sign that right now. Do you have any questions about the rights that are on that form?
Any questions that you're not going to file and you're on probation? Is that okay if I do that? Do you have any questions?
Now, you understand this is punishable by up to 60 days in jail, up to a $500 fine, and that the entry of your plea would result in deportation if you're not a citizen. You understand?
If you weren't a citizen, you'd be deported. Do you understand? Yes or no?
Your Honor,
Yeah.
understanding that this is a plea to the bench, there is also a cost of investigation of $118.90 to the Orlando Police Department.
$118.90?
Yes, Your Honor. And I would also ask that he not be allowed to return to the Orlando International Airport.
All right, I will accept your plea. We'll judge you guilty of the charge of trespass, sentenced to 2 days with 2 days credit. Unopposed court costs, $50 cost of prosecution to the state. There's a cost of investigation of $118.90 to OPD. And I'll give you 12 months to get that all paid off. And then finally, you're not to return to Orlando International Airport. If you do return there and the court's made aware of that, you are subject to a contempt citation. You'll be released as to this case.
All right.
Your name, sir?
Rodriguez Bellamy.
All right, Mr. Bellamy, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of open container. Bellamy, wish to plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
So do you wish to enter a plea of no contest to the charge of open container?
Yes, I do.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
No, I'm not.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past?
No.
The plea form that your attorney has there, do you understand all the rights and then sign it on the bottom? Do you have any questions for me?
Will I be released today?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Any questions about the rights on the form?
Any questions about the form, the rights you're giving up?
No.
All right, go ahead and just sign it.
Thank you. And is there
All
a
right.
case number on this one?
Yes. It is 2023 MO 196AL. Finally, you understand that this is punishable by up to 60 days in jail, up to a $500 fine, and that the entry of your plea could result in deportation if you're not a citizen. You understand?
Yes, I
All righty. I'll accept your plea. We'll judge you guilty of the offense. Sentenced to 2 with 2 days, 2 days with 2 days credit. I'll impose court costs of $223, and I'll give you 12 months to get that paid.
Okay. Thank you.
You'll be released as to this case.
All right, thanks.
No worries.
Your name, sir?
Troy Luma.
Mr. Luma, you're here today because you were arrested on a charge of disorderly conduct. I've read the charging affidavit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. Mr. Luma, wish to enter a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I wish to enter a plea of no contest to that charge, Mr. Luma?
Sure.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
No.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past?
No.
You understood all the rights in this form and signed it. Do you have any questions about the rights on that form?
No.
We understand this is punishable by up to 60 days in jail, up to a $500 fine, and that the entry of your plea may result in deportation if you're not a citizen. All right, I'll accept your plea. I'll withhold adjudication. It'd be 2 days in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit for time served. I'll impose $223 court costs, and I'll give you 12 months to get that paid. All righty. You'll be released today. Your name, sir?
Sheldon Crest.
Mr. Chris, you're here today because you're arrested on a warrant for failing to appear. And that was on a DUI charge.
Yes, sir.
Jeez. And the bond on that is $2,500, and did you already have a lawyer in this case?
I had a public defender.
Oh, that's a lawyer. The public defender will remain in the case.
Here you go. We'll let you go.
All right. Come on. All right.
I don't have that one.
Yeah, I didn't either. I had Rodriguez Flores, that's the last one. What was the second bond in one?
No, must not have made the list.
Charles. Okay. All right, your name?
Kinley Antoine.
Mr. Antone, you're here today. Hang on, I'm on the wrong one. Here today because you were arrested from a probable cause warrant for the charges of fleeing and attempting to elude and driving while license suspended. I'll set bond the amount of $2,500 on the fleeing, attempting to elude, $100 on the DUI, on the driving license suspended. You're not to drive a vehicle without a valid Florida driver's license, not to possess any guns or drugs, weapons or alcohol, and I'll appoint a public defender to represent you.
Yes, sir.
Here you go.
Your name?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the name.
I was going to ask the same. Nika Butler.
Nika
What have
Butler.
happened with Nigel Bowman? He bonded? All right, Ms. Butler. All right, Ms. Butler, you're here today because you're arrested on a probable cause warrant for the charge of aggravated assault with a firearm. All right, I'll set bond in the amount of $2,500. Appoint a public defender to represent you, not to possess any guns or weapons or drugs or alcohol, and you're not to have any contact with Simone Hunter. Yeah, that's the victim. And there was someone else named Redding, is that right? Kievia Redding, Kievia Redding. No contact with either of those individuals. And again, appoint a public defender to represent you.
Thank you.
Name, sir?
Jason Davis.
Who's that? Fine. Maybe you just need to speak up.
Test.
Can they hear now? Ask them.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Yes, no, yes, yes?
Say yes.
All right, Mr. Davis, you're here in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cases. 2021 CT 7162 AO. And that's a scheme to defraud and a petty theft. It was based on an arrest warrant, a probable cause warrant that previously was signed. Bond on that, the one case, the fraud case is $1,000, the petty theft is $500.
Yes, sir.
You know what? He does, and I'll point a public defender. Do we have this paperwork? I probably would. If you have it, it'd be quicker instead of clicking. All right, and the next case is also an arrest warrant for a petty theft, $500. Next case is an
Your Honor.
arrest warrant.
Your Honor, there are too many cases, so I do need the case numbers.
All right, then I'll just do it that way. It'll be quicker. Okay, so in the second case, that first case was 2021 CT 7162 and 6378. 2022 6378.
That one, Your Honor, I couldn't find the probable cause affidavit for that. Did you have it? It was a misdemeanor and the case transferred, but there was no case for the misdemeanor.
Let's see, I'll go back to the misdemeanor case.
You have it as a misdemeanor? I have it as a CF,
It was a transferred case?
and it's 6738.
I think it was a misdemeanor and then they transferred it.
Right, so I couldn't find the probable cause affidavit in either of them.
Well, it's based on a warrant, and there, in the misdemeanor, there's the affidavit is in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Home Depot. So in which used to be 2022 MM3061 is now 2022 CF 6738, and that is a petty theft. Did he already bond out on that?
No, sir.
All right. Then that is $500 on that. And in every one of these, you're not to return to the alleged scene or have any contact with the alleged victim.
Yes, sir.
And public defender is appointed in that case.
Yes, sir.
In 2022 CF 12442 AO. Again, based on a probable cause warrant for the following charges. Grant theft, our scheme to defraud, $2,500 bond. Grant theft, third degree, $1,000 bond. Fraudulent use of a personal ID, $500. And unlawful use of two-way communication device, $500. Appoint a public defender to represent you on that. In 2022 CF 12519 AO. Also based on a probable cause warrant. Count one, scheme to defraud, $1,000. Count two, grand theft, third degree, over $750, $2,500. Fraudulent use of personal ID. I'll reduce that to $1,000. Unlawful use of two-way communication device, reduce that to $500. Appoint a public defender, and again, no contact with the alleged victim and no return.
Yes, sir.
2022 at CF 12784 AO. Based on a probable cause warrant. Scheme to defraud, count one of over $300 by communication, $1,000 bond, fraudulent use of personal ID, $1,000, unlawful use of two-way communication device, $150, and petty theft, $250. Appoint a public defender, no return, and no contact with alleged victims. Got one more. 2022 CF 12784. Did I do that one?
Yeah, I thought so.
Is that the last one I did, or no?
I'm sorry, can you say the number again? I apologize.
12784. I don't know if I did that one or not. Okay, yeah. 308. Sorry, I did 12784, the last one. 2023 CF 1308 AO. All right. And also from a probable cause warrant, that's one count information. And that's first degree robbery with the firearm. There is no bond on that. Appoint a public defender. No contact with the alleged victim or no return. No drugs, no weapons, no guns, no alcohol. All righty. Your name, sir?
Earl Denmark.
Let's see that one. All right, just a second. All right, Mr. Denmark, you're arrested for possession of ammunition by convicted felon, possession of methamphetamine. In there, bond will be set in the amount of $1,000, count one, $1,000, count two, appoint a public defender to represent you, no guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol.
Thank you.
Yeah. Your name, sir?
O'Neal Goodman.
Mr. Goodman, you were here today because you were arrested for the charge of possessing methamphetamine. I reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. Bond be set in the amount of $1,000. I'll appoint a public defender. You're not to possess any guns or weapons, drugs, or alcohol. If you do bond out, this other possession's not been up, it's not been filed. It's only like last week. I'll take no action. Your name, ma'am?
Rachel Hall.
You were arrested on two charges, possession of oxycodone and possession of fentanyl. I do find sufficient probable cause, bond amount of $1,000 on both counts, and I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. If you do bond out, you're not to possess any guns or weapons, drugs, or alcohol. Your name, sir?
Michael Hathaway.
Mr. Hathaway, you're here, first of all, because in 2023 CF 1699 AO, you're arrested for the charge of grand theft motor vehicle and motor vehicle title theft, fraud or forgery. I have read the charging affidavit, and I do find that there is sufficient probable cause. As to the grand theft motor vehicle, I set bond the amount of $1,500 and the motor vehicle title fraud, $2,000. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. And then the second case, which is 2023 CF 1063AA, impersonating of a law enforcement officer.
Could I ask about that? My paper
No.
says false. I didn't.
What's that?
Okay.
That was the charge. No. I wanted to clarify because the charge.
I have, that was based on a probable cause warrant.
Yes, sir. Your Honor.
And bond is set in the amount of $15,000 on that. And I'll appoint a public defender to represent you on that case as well.
Yes, sir.
Oops.
Nope.
Skylar Holman, bonded.
Your name, ma'am?
Haley Horvath.
Hi, Ms. Horvath, you're here today. She arrested for 2 charges.
Yes.
Possession of cannabis, more than 20 grams, and a discharging a firearm in public. I read the charging affidavit. There is sufficient probable cause of possession of cannabis. Is a $1,000 bond and a $500 bond on the discharging the firearm in public. I'll take no action on the carry and concealed firearm.
The one that's been formally charged and is set for pretrial on March
Yeah.
10th?
At least it wasn't concealed anymore, so.
Any conditions on the new law
Yeah, well, on
offense?
the new one, of course, no guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. So you can't have that gun. I assume they probably took it, but.
Thank you.
Your name, sir?
Trey Jackson.
All right, Mr. Jackson, you're here today because you're arrested on several charges. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause follows in carry and conceal firearm, bond be set in the amount of $5,000. Possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver with a weapon, I'm going to reduce that bond to $5,000. Possession of cannabis, $1,000, and resisting an officer without violence, $250. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. If you do bond out, you're not to possess any guns or weapons or drugs or alcohol. Mhm. Yes. Mhm. I read it, Gavin Hunter. I remember that name, but I didn't see the papers. Is there Gavin Hunter? Oh, he bonded. There we go. Your name, ma'am? Jacob, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of possession of prescription, a drug, a controlled substance without the proper prescription. Make sure. Yeah, I'll set bond the amount of $1,000. I'll appoint a public defender. No guns, no drugs, no weapons, no alcohol if you bond out. She did? Where's that? Oh, okay, yeah, let me see. All right, and you also were arrested on a warrant from Osceola County, and the bond on that is $5,000. So you got that as well. All right. Thank you. Your name, sir?
Andre Ramon Jenkins.
I know you got a bunch. All right, so you're here today for a number of cases. First off, in 2023, CF 1680AO, you're arrested for charge of petty theft, 2 prior convictions, and 2 counts of that. I've read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause in that. Count 1 would be $1,000, count 2, $150. I will appoint a public defender to represent you in that case.
No return?
No return to the scene. That was in 2023 CF 1680AO. In 2023 CF 1681AO. There is 4 counts of petty theft with at least 2 priors. There is probable cause in those. $1,000 count 1, $150, $150, $150 on the 3 additional counts. Appoint a public defender to represent you, and no return to any of those scenes or any contact with the victim. 2023 CF 1682 AO. 3 counts of petty theft with at least 2 priors. There was sufficient probable cause. Count 1, $1,000. Count 2, $150. Count 3, $150. Appoint a public defender, no return, and no contact with the alleged victim. (2023) CF 1685 AO. Skip the number.
1683.
Excuse me?
I thought you said that you skipped one, and I was saying there is a 1683.
Yeah, but there wasn't a 4. That's what I mean. We skipped.
Oh,
a 4.
okay.
Somehow 4. I guess just in the process of them being filed. Because we did 1, 2, and 3, right? Is 8 the only one that's left?
No, we did 012.
Yeah, and somebody jumped quick. What's that?
We did 012. We haven't done 3, and that's why we're skipping to
Oh,
5.
I thought we did 3. Okay, so we'll do 85, we'll come back. You're correct. All right, so in 85, there are 8 counts of petty theft with 2 priors. There was sufficient probable cause. Count 1, 1,000, and counts 2 through 8 would be 150 on each one, and appoint a public defender, no return, and no contact with the victims. And back now to 2023 CF 1683. In that case, it's 1 count of petty theft with at least 2 priors. There's sufficient probable cause, $1,000, appoint a public defender, no return, and no contact with the alleged victim. And a public defender appointed in all those cases. You have a lawyer in all those cases, and they'll get working on it. Thank you, sir.
Lance King bonded. Mr. Hughes, K-U-S-E, he refused.
Yes. View accused. All these people with multiple cases today. Is that Mr. Hughes? Oh, you gonna waive?
Yes.
All right. Do you find sufficient probable cause? It's 2023 CF 1719. Bond set amount of $1,000 on count 3, the possession, and then count 1, $100, count 2, $100, point of public defender. No guns, no drugs, no weapons, no alcohol.
I
What's the bond on
apologize,
that one?
pretrial. I didn't get the case number. Thank you.
That one's active. Okay.
You do see it right there.
Got it? When was that case from?
She came.
So it's 3790, so it's probably middle of the year or even before that, wasn't it?
Your Honor, I
last
think
year?
he's in pretrial diversion. I'm looking at the notes.
Okay, I'll take no action on that, though. They're gonna boot him back. Okay, your name, sir? All right, Mr. Lewis. You're here in a couple of cases. First of all, 2023 CF 1695, you're arrested in charge of burglary of dwelling, petty theft, and criminal mischief. I had reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause.
Your Honor, in the probable cause affidavit, it indicates Patty observed Michael from her, pointed that Michael was the male who came up to her residence in regard to his brother's items in the residence, meaning that he told on his brother for being inside the residence. So I'm arguing that the probable cause isn't there.
I apologize. If this is Michael Lewis, he has 3 cases. Which one are you referring to?
This one is the first one, which is 1695, 2023, 1695.
And what is the argument?
That there was a person that, yeah, from across the street who had observed him there. Somebody. Well, and I read it to mean that, so the owner of the house was checking the house and there was a person in the house and it was him. And he said, well, I'm just picking up my brother's stuff. Doesn't mean he can go in the house.
Yeah, that was my reading of it.
Once the buyer left, she made contact with a black male of slender build. The slender black male told her that his brother had left items in the residence. Black male took the blow-up mattress and the bag of clothes and went to the house next door located.
Yes, Your Honor, there's an explanation that squatters were living in the 5608 and that they were breaking into other residences in the area.
As well, yeah. So, I mean, I understand that's what he says, but I think that he was in the house, so I think it's sufficient. So I'm gonna set bond $5,000 on that, $100 petty theft, $150 on the criminal mischief, point of public defender, no return to the residence, and no contact with Patty Howell, the victim, in that case. We've got 2023 CF 192 AO. That's a probable cause warrant for sale and delivery and for possession of a controlled substance. Bonds in that are $7,500 on the sale and deliver, and I'll reduce the possession to $1,000. Point of public defender in that case as well. No, do not possess any guns or weapons, drugs, or alcohol if you do bond out. And then there is 2023 CF 194 AO. That's a probable cause warrant for another sale and delivery and possession. And bonds were set. That's not the same case, is it? At $7,500 in count one, and I'll reduce count two to $1,000. Now, I looked at the dates. It looks like from the dates on the bonds in this, where he was out on bond, I think one of them he was not out on bond yet when it occurred. Because the probable cause warrant for this case says it was August, I think the 19th. Computer. Says August 19th was the last case that was based on the probable cause warrant. Says that the occurrence was August 19th. So I'll take no action on those other two. And again, public defender's been appointed in all his cases. Name, sir?
Jude Marcano.
Mr. Marcano, you're here today because you're arrested for 3 charges. Grand theft, motor vehicle, possession of methamphetamine, and petty theft. I have read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. Bond is stayed at $1,000, count 1, $150, count 2, $100, count 3. And let's see. Got on bond from possession of heroin, possession of cocaine. That probably hasn't been filed on yet.
Nope.
Grand theft, third degree. I revoked that bond, put a new bond of $2,500 on that. Hold on, let me go back to it. And on the driving license suspended, I'll take no action. Let's see, the one that I'm revoking and putting a new bond is 2023 CF 357 AO. Yeah, new bond 2,500.
And what about the 23 CF 358, which is the possession of heroin, possession of cocaine?
These are all the same date of arrest, they're just different cases.
Understood.
Yeah, I'd say no action on that one since that one hasn't been filed. And a PD appointed in the new cases.
Talking about the case facts right now.
Your name, ma'am? Your name?
Stephanie Moss.
All right, Ms. Moss, you're here today because you failed to appear on your grand theft third-degree charge. And the judge set no bond on that failure to appear.
Excuse me, sir. I went on the 31st. Some kind of way they didn't take it out. I went to court on the 26th with Ms. Faye Allen for the first charge. And for the capers, I went
This
on
wouldn't be in front of Judge Allen. Unless it was at the jail. Judge Allen's a county judge. This is a felony case.
No, that was Ms. Faye Allen at Orange.
That's correct. Faye Allen is a county judge.
Yes, I went.
Right, so you couldn't, on this charge, you couldn't have gone in front of her unless it was here.
No, I went on the 31st to the Orange County courthouse.
For the misdemeanor, she.
For the capers.
Not for
Yeah,
the
but that's on, this is a felony charge. This is different. This, if you went in front of Judge Allen, it was a misdemeanor.
That was for,
You failed to appear on the 31st in front of Judge Bleckman.
yeah, that's where I went to the court on the
I
31st.
think that's what she's trying to say, is that she was in court.
I was in court
That is
on the
different.
31st.
Okay. All right, well,
That's for the
you have a
case.
public defender, you can get in contact with them, they can speak
I'll
with
email
Judge
them.
Bleckman and
Okay.
straighten that out.
And it's no bond?
Yeah, that's
I'll email them, okay?
what he put.
What that mean?
You can't bond out.
Your name, sir?
Alan Peterson.
All right, Mr. Peterson, you're here today because you're arrested on a probable cause warrant for the charge of grand theft third degree. Bond is, that's a failure, 2,500. Who sets these bonds? Judge Starr. So 2,500 on that, and also or VOP on-site or something? Is that it? Okay.
Do I have an affidavit for this case? What, I don't know what this case is. I get my affidavit, anything?
And I will appoint a public defender to represent you.
So can you tell me what the grand theft came from? Or like what store did this come from? I don't know nothing about this charge.
I'll have them email you. I'll have them send it to you, okay?
I don't know nothing. They can't tell me nothing on my case. Just charge me with a charge.
Shoes. 15 pairs of shoes.
Okay.
That's it.
From a Nike store.
My bond is.
I was
2,500. Looks like there's a VOP of some type, but we don't have it here today. Your name, sir?
Eli Roberts.
All right, Mr. Roberts. You were arrested on 4 charges, actually 5 charges. Burglary, structure, tampering with physical evidence, criminal mischief, possession of burglary tools, and petty theft. I do find sufficient probable cause. $3,500 bond on the burglary structure, $150, $150, $150, and $100. And I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. So you got holds from Brevard County? Is that right?
Yes.
Looks like Brevard County we have holds for you from Brevard County for a violation of probation.
Your Honor, with regard to the Orange County case, I asked for a no return.
And no return to, actually, there's, I think, 2 spots there. It's the Apopka Water Reclaiming Facility.
No, Your Honor, this is the Relax Grill.
Oh, okay, that's the other one, yeah. Yeah, don't go back in the Relax Grill at 211 Neola Parkway.
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, you're saying you don't have the VOPs from out of county?
I don't have any paperwork on it. But it shows that they're, on here, it shows a hold for Brevard County.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, here it is. Nope, there's nothing in it. We don't have it.
So he'll be back tomorrow with that?
Probably.
All right, they don't have it, so
Yeah, we don't have it today.
paperwork for the VOPs yet.
Your name, sir?
Jason Rosario.
All right, Mr. Rosario, you're here today because you're arrested for 3 charges. Have you read the charging affidavit? Do you find sufficient probable cause? Count 1, resisting an officer without violence, $500 bond. Burglary of an unoccupied structure, $3,500 bond. And criminal mischief, I'll reduce that to a $500 bond. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. No return to 2800 Lust Road. This is the one, you're not to return to the City of Apopka Water Reclamation Center.
Your Honor, he qualifies for pretrial release.
Is that what he wants to do?
Either pay a bond or get out and do reporting requirements for free.
I think get out.
Yes, pretrial release.
All right, we'll release from pretrial release conditions. No guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, and no return to that facility. No contact with your co-defendants. Yeah, pretrial.
What's your question?
All righty.
Okay, thank you.
And no contact with Tyler, co-defendant.
Yes, just keep in touch with pretrial release.
Santiago Rosado refused.
A waiver appearance. His appearance is.
All right, I'll appoint a public defender, and as to the possession of fire by convicted felon, $4,000 bond, no, do not possess any guns, drugs, weapons, or alcohol. And in 2023, CF 1709, driving license suspended. Reduce the bond to $500 and appoint a public defender. Do not operate a motor vehicle without a valid Florida driver's license.
Judge, he also is out in case, pre-trial case number 20, CF 0175508, possession of Dakota.
Okay, we'll leave that in place. He's gonna get booted and he'll get sent back, so they'll take care of that. No action. Your name, sir?
Douglas Saunders.
Mr. Saunders, you're here today because you're arrested on charge of exposure of sexual organs, second or subsequent offense. I do find sufficient probable cause. Bond is set at the amount of $2,500 on that. I'll appoint a public defender. And no, you're not to return to the scene. You're also currently out on bond on sex offender violation or failed to report. Why does it say no bond?
He was ROR'd, Your Honor, I believe,
All right.
by Judge Carter.
I revoke that bond, and there's no bond on that, and appoint a public defender to represent you. Your name, sir?
Travis Schmidt.
All right, Mr. Schmidt. Here today because you were arrested on probable cause warrant for the charge of grand theft. Over 750, but less than 5,000, and scheme to defraud. The bonds are 1,500 on both count 1 and 2. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. If you do bond out, you're not to return to the scene if there is one. And you're currently out on bond. On an aggravated fleeing, attempting to elude, causing injury, criminal mischief. I revoked that bond. There's no bond on that.
Said you revoked it, sir? That means
does that mean?
That means there's no bond on it, yeah.
Can't get out, you gotta call your attorney.
Can't bond out.
I'll email them.
Charles St. Fleur bonded.
St. Flour's decided to bond. All right, your name, sir?
Elijah Thomas.
All right, Mr. Thomas. Looks like they spelled your name wrong.
How do you spell that?
Okay, you were arrested on charge of burglary of a dwelling, criminal mischief, and trespass in school grounds. Do you find sufficient probable cause? Bond is $5,000, count one, 500, count two, 500, count three.
Your Honor?
Yep.
With regard to count 3, I don't believe that there's probable cause. I believe this is the gentleman that was actually found across the street at the bus stop, so he was not found on the school grounds.
Not all three ran over the fence, but if you agree, then I'll release him on that one then.
No, I think he was found across the street at the bus stop, but the other 2 were on the school.
Actually on the grounds.
Yes.
Yeah, I was at a bus stop, sir.
Okay, all right, then it'll be 5,500 and then ROR. Did you know that trespass on school grounds, you don't have to intend to, if you're just on school grounds, you're guilty of trespass?
I did.
I had a motion on that, I was really surprised. It's the only thing in trespass that doesn't require intent. You could actually do it accidentally. And I will appoint a public defender, no return to the 5821 North Lane. If you bond out, no guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol.
That's why I stay on North Lane.
You can't go to that place, not to this address. 5821 North Lane. Okay. Your name, sir?
Peter Wallace.
Mr. Wallace, you're here today because you were arrested on charge of burglary of a dwelling,
No, sir.
and I have reviewed the charging affidavit. Do you find sufficient probable cause, bond be set in the amount of $5,000?
Your Honor,
Now,
it's possession of cocaine and resisting without violence.
This is Theodore
I
Wallace.
clicked the wrong name, yeah. This is the co-defendant for the other person we already did. There we go. All right. Yes, possession of cocaine, resisting without.
Call your attorney.
And there was sufficient probable cause. It's a $1,000 bond, and I'll reduce the resisting to $100 and appoint a public defender to represent you. Don't possess any guns, drugs, weapons, or alcohol. This is the burglary of the dwelling. Your name, sir?
Christopher White, Your Honor.
Mr. White, you're here today because you're arrested on charge of burglary of a dwelling. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. There is sufficient probable cause. Bond set in the amount of $5,000. I will appoint a public defender to represent you. If you do bond out, you're not to return to 4319 Clarinda Street in Orlando. Don't possess any guns, drugs, weapons, or alcohol.
Charles St. is here.
So one of the same.
This one.
Okay. Your name, sir?
Anthony Williams.
Okay. Anthony Williams. Mr. Williams, you're here because you were arrested on a charge of possession of MDMA. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. You find sufficient probable cause. Bond would be set in an amount of $1,000. I'll appoint a public defender for you. And if you do bond out, don't possess any guns, weapons, drugs, or alcohol.
I don't have a release date.
What's that?
No release date.
You have a bond, so you can get out. You don't. Okay?
No predicted release date as of yet.
No release date?
Yeah.
Well, when the case gets closed or if you bond out.
Okay.
You haven't been sentenced, so. Okay, your name, ma'am?
Dariana Wood.
I remember you're here today in 2023 CF 1452AO. It's based on a probable cause warrant. And there's 3 charges: grand theft, 3rd degree, receiving money from a pawnbroker with false verification, and dealing in stolen property. There is sufficient probable cause. Bonds are $2,500 as to the grand theft, $1,500 as to the pawnbroker false verification, and finally $1,500 for the dealing in stolen property. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. If you do bond out, you are not to return to the pawnbroker. Or do we have an address of? No, it's at Aquatica. Okay, just don't return to the pawnbroker. And I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. Right. Okay, thank you. And this is Charles St. Fleur?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, Mr. St. Fleur, you're here today because you were arrested for 3 charges. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. On 1, attempted burglary of a conveyance, bond set $1,000, possession of burglary tools $100, and the resisting an officer without violence, I'll reduce that to $100. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. If you do bond out, you're not to return to 3341 Pell Mell Drive. Don't return to the scene. And have no contact with Ashley Wright, the alleged victim in the case. Not to possess any guns or weapons, drugs, or alcohol.
Only a whole more week.